So starting in that lying down position with your legs bent or straight, guys. And just taking a moment to relax. So I quite like to have my knees bent and then let them drop inwards so that they support each other. But you put your legs wherever you feel comfortable. I'm going to take my hands down by the side of the body. I'm going to open my chest so that my palms are facing the ceiling. I'm going to nod my chin very slightly and get some lengthening into the back of the neck. Starting to focus on the movement of the breath. Breathing evenly in through the nose. And long and slow, you can breathe out through the nose or out through the mouth. So the yoga breath is moving slowly in through the nose and out through the nose if you can manage it, because it tends to allow the breath to come out a little bit more evenly. Because I'm talking and I've got my mouth open, mine's coming out through my mouth. Just take your feet hip width apart and bring your knees hip width apart now. Can you just press your elbows into the floor and start to circle your wrists for me? So just starting with a little bit of mobility through the wrists. And then bring the hands back down to the floor. Let's have an arm float up and over the head, so shoulder mobility. Breathing in to lengthen the arms, my knees are still bent. Breathing out to come back. I'm maintaining a neutral spine as I do it. I am trying to get my thumbs to the floor overhead. And so that might mean widening your arms or maybe bending from your elbows a little bit until your shoulders stretch a bit more. But what I don't want is for your rib cage to arch and lift away from the floor. So breathing in as the arms float over, maybe pausing for a second, and then breathing out as the arms come back. We are going to hold the next one with the arms over the head. If you can just relax your arms down onto the floor, please do. Just going to adjust my head block. And then slide your right leg away slowly. And then slide your left leg away. Coming into a full body stretch. Your pelvis will now probably tilt and the back of your rib cage will start to lift away from the floor, and that's fine. Just continue to take those breaths in that position for me. Really feel the diaphragm starting to stretch. And on your next out breath, float the arms back over. Press the back of the rib cage down into the floor. Pull the tummy in, bend the right knee in, followed by the left knee, please. Feet and knees together, arms out to the side, chest height, palms facing the ceiling. Dropping the knees to the right on an in-breath, turning the head to the left. Pausing for a second. As you exhale, draw down on the abdominals, head and knees come back to center. Rolling to the left slowly as you breathe in through the nose. Turning the head to the right. Just pause the breath. And then exhale, draw the tummy in. So keep that moving. Inhaling on a long rotation. Pausing for a second, holding the breath. Long, slow breath out as you come back. Keep it moving. We'll have one more on either side. Please take your time as you do that. And then once you come back to center, place your hands on your rib cage, realign your spine, put the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop out to the side. If it feels comfortable, just to give your pelvis a little bit of a rock, then let it rock, otherwise just hold. Focus your breath on the lower abdominals. So take your hands down below your belly button, in between the belly button and the pubic bone. Elbows are relaxed on the floor. Breathe into the deep abdominals, feel them rise. As you breathe out, draw down on your belly button and up on your pelvic floor. Keep the breaths moving slowly and evenly. Let's have two more slowly. If you're able to leave your legs where they are, please do. Come back and give them a little bit of a release if you need to. If you can cross your arms, hold your elbows and guide your arms over your head into a shoulder stretch, please do. And then once again, the ribs will lift and the pelvis will tilt. So now take the breath away from the lower abdominals and into the diaphragm. Physically feel your rib cage expanding and contracting. So movement now coming through ribs and diaphragm rather than through lower abdominals and pelvic floor. On your next out breath, imprint your ribs and bring your arms back first. When your hands come to the floor, imprint your pelvis and bring your knees together. Super. And then just to release through those hips, feet come wider than the mat, arms come out to the side, and just a soft roll from right to left. So just moving through that there. No need to pause and hold, and no need to connect the movement with the breath. Super. Coming back to center, roll onto one side, please, and then push yourself up gently to the seated position. And you could sit on a block if you wanted to do that, or a cushion. So sitting cross-legged, if that feels comfortable, legs could be out straight in front if you prefer. Come right up onto the sit bones. Palms are up, chin is very slightly nodded, and back of the neck is lengthened. Turn your head to the right and look over the shoulder. Come back through center, breathing in slowly. Breathing out, turning left. Breathing in, coming center. If that feels okay, we'll make it a half circle. So turn first, then drop your nose towards your shoulder, round towards your breastbone, lift and look over that left shoulder. Go the other way, dropping down, circling round, looking over the right shoulder. Let's have one more circle. Make sure you come to level each time. Last one. And then come up into center. Super. Thumbs in the breastbone. Rotating through the upper back. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, rotate without your hands coming away from your breastbone, and with your nose always in line with your fingertips. Come center. So you won't be able to get far. It should take you approximately to the front corner of the room. So I'm looking at my left corner. Coming back, inhaling. And then looking at the right corner. One more time, make sure that spine is still lengthened. Lovely, let's make this bigger. Rotate the arms, hand to knee, one hand behind you, lengthen and hold. So now I'm looking to the back corner of the room. Gonna hold here for 3 nice long slow breaths. And releasing, change sides, lengthening up, looking over the shoulder. Long, slow breaths here. And release. Super. Bring your knees together. I'm going to turn sideways on my mat now. It's going to depend what way your mat is. But let's come into the lower back now. So holding the backs of the thighs, just coming into pelvic tilt. And I want you to keep hold of the legs so that we can also feel a stretch in between the shoulder blades. So we're going to inhale, exhale pelvic tilt, roll onto your tailbone, and then pull against the legs and drop the head so that we're opening out the shoulder blades. Holding here, breathe in. Breathe out, roll forwards. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale, scoop. So stretching through the lumbar spine, up thoracic spine, and in between the shoulder blades. Inhaling here, exhaling, rolling up. One more time, exhale, roll. Holding the stretch, inhaling, exhale, roll forwards. Inhale and lengthen, and then we've taken our spine through flexion. Take both legs out. So let's come into intense forward fold next. So we're sitting right up on the sit bones. This is our staff pose. Straight spine, straight legs. Let's just have a chest stretch first. So hands behind you. Doesn't matter whether your fingers are forwards or out, but transfer your weight back. Open your chest and extend here under the chin. Hold it. Breathing evenly as we open the chest. And then coming back up to staff. So that's with the spine vertical. Going to do our intense forward fold, and we're going to hold it. So we're going to take the arms up, inhale, hinge from the hip. I'm going to flex my feet and start to fold forward, and then just grab where you can. And it might not be to your feet because this is the first one, so see how it feels. You might want to hold your ankles or your calves, or you might want to stretch a different way, which is bending the knee, holding the feet, and then pushing the legs out. So get there any way you can, but the spine is curved. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, roll back up. Sit in staff, hands to the side of the body, long spine. Inhale. Stay there, exhale, shoulder blades down. Arms up, inhale. Exhale, reach into that intense forward fold. Take hold where you can. Maybe you're a little bit lower this time. Allow the head to drop and the spine to round. Focus on breathing into the back of your rib cage. Sinking lower on an out breath. On your next out breath, brace your abs and draw back. Coming into that seated staff. Breathing in and breathing out. Arms float, breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. So this time trying to hold for 5 slow breaths. On your out breath, pull or drop a little bit further. So in breath to hold, out breath to increase the range. And ultimately we're trying to get our head to our shins. I'm not there either, so don't worry. On your next out breath, tummy in, uncurl. Come back to that seated staff. Right up on the bum bones, inhale. And exhale. Super, draw your legs in. Come over onto all fours, please. Let's have a look at a sun salutation. So let's start by just seeing how the spine is with a cat stretch. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tucking from the pelvis, rounding through the spine, just coming into mobility, releasing to neutral and extending into cow if your back is happy with cow. Good. So really take your time as you roll through those 2 points. And then if that's okay, let's go a little bit more into the hips and back. So we want to walk the hands forward, transfer the body weight, squeeze the bum and come into a half plank. Just hold it here for a second, breathe in. As you breathe out, see if you can let your hips drop, maybe your toes drop depending on your knees, and extend into your back. Now squeeze the glutes because that'll support the back. Extend the spine and the neck. Breathe in. Breathe out, pull all the way back and sit on your heels. Let's have 2 more of those. Hands stay in place. Come forward, squeeze glutes, half plank. Inhale. Exhale, drop the hips, keep the glutes switched on. Relax the shoulders, open the chest. Breathe in. Breathe out, push back. Super, let's try that one more time. Come forward. Half plank, squeeze glutes. Inhale. Exhale, drop the pelvis, extend the spine. Breathing in here. Breathing out, pulling all the way back. Super. Come forward onto all fours. Set yourself up so hands and feet are both on the mat. Tuck toes under and join me in a downward dog, please. So we want to open the chest, spread the fingers and press the weight back through the heel of the hands. Push your heels towards the floor. That can be holding, or it might be having a little pedal of the feet. Lovely. Guys, from there, if it feels okay, transfer forward into plank. So where we were before, but now we're on a full plank instead of a half plank. And then we'll lower slowly. Knees, hips, tummy, chest, all the way down, nose to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, extend this time a little bit deeper. Keep the glutes switched on. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under. Push upwards and backwards into that downward dog. Adjust your hands or feet if you need to until you've got an effective stretch through the chest and shoulders, hamstrings and glutes, holding or pedaling. Let's go one more time. Forward plank. Hold. Breathe in. Breathe out lower. Knees, hips, chest and chin. Breathing in. Breathing out, pushing up. Toes under. Downward dog. Guys, from here, leave your hands where they are, and if you can, start to walk your feet slowly towards your hands so that you gradually come to the front of the mat. Lovely. Hold the backs of your ankles if you can. See if you can guide your head towards your knees. Breathe into the back of your rib cage. Release the hands with soft knees. Place your hands on your kneecaps and lengthen your spine into a tabletop. So your eye gaze is to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, come back down, hands either side of your feet. Guys, leave your left foot where it is. Take a big step back on your right foot. And then adjust your position if it's not quite right. So my left foot is between my hands. I'm going to put my right hand next to my left foot. I'm going to straighten my back leg. I'm going to rotate, extend, and look up here on my left side. And as I stay here, I'm using the breaths and I'm lengthening up towards the ceiling with the top arm. I'm seeing if I can get a little bit more rotation. And then I'm bringing that hand down. I'm going to step back on the left foot. It's going to bring me back to downward dog. Holding here, breathing in. Staying here, breathing out. Little bit deeper into the stretch. Breathe in. As you breathe out, transfer to plank. Lowering knees, hips, chest and chin. Hands under shoulders, inhale. Exhale, push, extend. Inhale. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, toes under. Exhale to dog. Starting to walk your feet towards your hands, once again to the front of the mat. Bringing your hands around the back of your calves and pulling your body in. As your legs can be straight or bent depending on what feels better for you. Breathe into the back of the rib cage and stay there if you're okay upside down. Bring your hands onto soft knees. Lengthen the spine all the way into tabletop. Eye gazes down. Breathe in. Breathe out, drop the body. Hands coming either side of the feet. Taking a big step back on your right foot, please. And then adjust yourself if you need to until you feel a stretch through the pelvis. The left hand is on the floor next to the right foot. I'm rotating and I'm opening out to the right side. My eye gaze is up. I'm trying to straighten my back leg. As I take my next breath in, I'm going to lengthen to the ceiling. And as I breathe out, I'm going to think about my hips dropping a little bit closer to the floor through that center line there. All the time reaching. On your next out breath, come down slowly, please. Big step back on the right foot. Adjust yourself here in that downward dog. Hips high, chest low. Let's take a couple of breaths. And then coming down onto your knees, please. Let's come into child's pose. So knees coming out to the corners of the mat. Soles of the feet together so legs are in a diamond. And then sit back and either take your head to the mat and extend your arms, or your arms have just spent quite a lot of time in that position, so it might feel nicer to put your hands under your head or take them to your ankles. Just allow your shoulders to round and take some breaths there. Bringing your hands to the side of your knees, palms down. Uncurl the spine slowly from the bottom to the top. Lovely. Come on down onto your bottom for me, facing me or facing any direction. So let's have a look at our Lord of the Fishes. So legs out in front and just give them a bit of a shake there. And so right leg coming in, so obviously it's my left but it's your right. Lengthening up the spine into that staff. hugging the leg and then staying lengthened, cross the leg over. So you're crossing right over left, left arm hugs right leg, and we pull until we feel this stretch running down the outside of the thigh. And then additional stretch through the upper body, turning round, hands coming to the floor, lengthen and look over the shoulder there. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. You might well need to keep them shallow. It's quite hard to fill the lungs when we're in this compressed position. Just easing off momentarily. If you can take your left arm over and then use that shoulder as a lever to push, go there, and that should allow you to rotate that little bit further. It's different for everybody. Some of you might need to just hug the leg and that might feel better. Think about now how the weight is distributed between your right and your left buttock. Hopefully it's even, you're not rocking over too much on one side. On your next out breath, release the arms and release the leg. Come back and just give those legs a bit of a shake there. Let's go the other way. So bringing that leg in, lengthening up the spine. So this is our Lord of the Fishes. I've got no idea why. I'm sure somebody could tell me. Cross the left leg over the right leg. Hug it towards you first. So our first goal is this stretch around the outer thigh, into the hip, and then lengthening up the spine. And then if we can rotate and open the chest, place the hand behind us and look over the shoulder, and then we'll just pause here and breathe. So be careful that the lower back doesn't start to sag. If you want to ease off and use that elbow as a lever, go there. If you find you get a better stretch, just hugging the leg, that's fine. Make sure the weight is even from right to left buttock. And release. Super. Give those legs a shake. And then just come to butterfly. So take the hips in the opposite direction. Maybe just rotate the soles of the feet with the thumbs, so open them like a book. Or if you prefer, hold your ankles and press on the inner thigh there. And then uncurl and come on back down onto your back for me, please. Again, pop something under your head if you want to do that. And let's come back to that same butterfly position we've just been in. So pick the legs up, soles of the feet together, and just press back and give your hips a little rock from right to left. And guys, if it feels okay, take your hands through the middle and round the outside of your ankles. So your hands are now resting on the outside of your ankle bones there. Just gently rock the pelvis. Super. Holding on to the big toes with these two fingers. Call them your peace fingers, the one you make the peace signs with. Hug the big toes. And then leave your knees where they are, please. And then just move from the knee down. So the knees are staying bent. So you're trying to get the soles of your feet to the ceiling. So you do want to be in a pelvic tilt, and your tailbone may well have left the floor, and that's fine. That's where we want to be. Knees are pushing down towards the mat. Soles of the feet are towards the ceiling. It's got a nice stretch across the sole of the foot, the inner thigh, and the lower back. And if that's where you feel happy, please stay there. If you want a slightly different stretch, take your hands on the soles of your feet or the insides of your ankles, straighten your legs, and now drop your tailbone onto the floor. So for me to keep my tailbone down, because my arms are short, my hands just come to the inside of my calves. But if you've got a better arm to leg ratio than me, then you may be somewhere else. Some of you might want to hold your ankles and lift your bum off the floor. My back doesn't like being in that position, but your back might love it. So I'm going to drop my bottom and hold my calves, but you may have lifted your bottom and be holding your ankles. Just allow gravity to stretch the insides of those thighs. Move your hands around to the outside of your legs, and then use your arms to draw your legs together safely. Bend your knees in and just circle the pelvis, please. From here, left leg slides out along the mat. Left hand comes to right leg, and it's rotating across to the opposite side. So I've just stretched my inner thigh, and now I need to stretch my outer thigh and my glute. So my bottom, my lower back, and most of my ribs, but not my shoulder, have left the floor. Just breathing into this stretch. Coming back to center. Place that right foot down. Let's change sides. So left leg coming in, right leg extending away, and then opposite hand to leg, we pull across, we rotate. So my left arm is across the floor. All of my ribs have left the mat, my shoulders are down. And I'm going to consciously, each time I breathe out, try to let the leg and the spine go a bit further. Obviously, if it's too much, don't push it any further. And then come on back to center, please. Bring your heels close to your bottom. Nothing under your head. Hands down by the side of the body. Let's start to roll through a shoulder bridge. Slowly and smoothly with the arms down for now. So I'm rolling all the way up, slowly articulating my spine. Rolling all the way down equally slowly, aiming for my tailbone to touch the mat before my buttocks, and then releasing fully and resetting. If it feels good to add an arm float, next time you do this, please add an arm float. Pause at the top for one in-breath. And as you breathe out, roll slowly back down, still articulating the spine, tailbone before buttocks. And let's just have one more. So several breaths to get up to the top there. Hips high, glutes squeezed. We take one breath in at the top. And then as many breaths as you need to articulate all the way down. And relax. Super. Just bring your right leg in, hold at the back of the thigh. Push the right heel up to release the hamstring, and then just gently rotate through that right ankle, and then change directions. And come on down. Holding at the back of the left leg, just lightly, not forcing. Up we go till we feel a stretch. And then gently rotating around that ankle, please. And the other way. Bend the knee. Come on down. Super. Come on over onto your side. And then bring yourself up to the seated position, please. Lengthen up onto the bum bones. Place the right hand down, reaching up on the left side. Come across, stay lengthened. Breathe in. Breathe out, come over. Reach and lengthen. Come across, stay lengthened. Inhale. And exhale. Let's try that one more time on either side. Lengthen, reach, inhale. And exhale. Last one, lengthen, reach. Inhale. And exhale. Super, coming back to center. Thumbs in the heart center, close your eyes, just focus on your breath. Lengthen through the back of the neck, relax the shoulders down, draw the belly button in, lengthen through the lower back. Open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you very much indeed.